Disney Star Wars cannot get out of their own way, even when people like me are not completely trashing their show, even though I do have some problems with it. They're going to go and say some nonsense like this, that Mon Mothma is sort of a Nancy Pelosi style character in Andor. Now, I've seen all 4 episodes of Andor up to this point. I talked about seeing the first 3 episodes after my first rewatch here, and while I had some criticisms, I did say that there were elements that I did enjoy and that I was looking forward to the 4th episode. I then went back and rewatched those first 3 episodes, and I ended up enjoying them even more. It doesn't mean that I think the show is good, and I'm not recommending that you go see it because, after all, it is Disney Star Wars. But my job is to continue to give you feedback to the best of my ability, and I did find some level of enjoyment out of those first 3 episodes. It was primarily the world building and how it felt like a lived-in world and how it was a different perspective on this era of Star Wars. Then we move into episode 4, and it was kind of more of the same. We do go to Coruscant, which was kind of cool to go to Coruscant, but we really didn't get a lot from that perspective that I was anticipating, but we did still get more little intricate details of the Empire and the inner workings, which I think is really interesting. Now, there's still massive issues with the show, and it is very slow-paced. I don't think it's general audience-friendly at all, and it's not going to appeal to that Baby Yoda audience whatsoever. And up to this point, it doesn't have a lot of these cameos that Disney Star Wars has relied on. But overall, I have to say that based on the low bar that has been set, I am enjoying a lot of Andor up to this point, mainly from the world-building element. Now, when you get some good news from the fandom, and I'm not saying that the fandom overall is enjoying Andor, although I would say from my perspective, Andor is definitely getting better feedback than something like the Book of Boba Fett or something like that. But here they go, bringing this Nancy Pelosi nonsense into it, and it just continues to show you, as Ryan said on Friday Night Tights, it shows you the bubble they are in. In no way, shape, or form is this a good thing for your fan base, for your audience. This is in no way a good marketing tool to say that Mon Mothma is sort of a Nancy Pelosi-style figure. Why do you have to bring Nancy Pelosi into it? Why do you have to bring any politician, real-world current politician into it? Why can't they just let a galaxy far, far away be a galaxy far, far away? They're never going to learn. Now, I think Tony Gilroy has done some really good things overall. You cannot deny that. But this just continues to show you that no matter what, they are always going to bring it back to their own personal politics because they can't get out of their own way. It will never change at Disney Star Wars for the foreseeable future because the people involved with this company are leftists and they have a leftist agenda. And if you go down to it, what he says she's kind of trying to do good or whatever she's trying to do, and she's losing. I mean, I don't know. She's a powerful presence in the Senate, but she's facing defeat after defeat after defeat as the Empire is taking over here. We know exactly what he's saying. We know exactly what that means. He continued, she's always presented as very prosper and sober and perfectly put together all the time in canon. And it seemed like that was such a perfect opportunity to say, well, what's really going on behind here? It was very exciting to take sort of a still portrait of someone and throw it away and build a real life behind it. So he's saying Nancy Pelosi is always presented as very proper. Did I say prosper? Very proper and sober and perfectly put together all the time in canon. Well, her husband certainly isn't sober. Good Lord. She has a much, much, much more complicated life than anybody else was ever aware. And in many ways, of all the people that walk through this show and face all kinds of decisions and problems and pressures and the hiding and chasing and betrayal, she has to stand out almost in the open for the whole show in a really dangerous position, Gilroy concluded. In many ways, her story is the most tense story in the whole show because she has to do everything in the open. So there you have it. So Nancy Pelosi is just this amazing, amazing human being that we should all look to be. I personally do think this the actress in the role is actually doing a really good job as Mon Mothma. I think she does have a presence about her. But, of course, Tony Gilroy has to bring his own personal politics into the equation and completely ruin anything. It's like I said when I talked about The Boys and how the showrunners just have to bring Trump into it. They just have to bring Trump into it, no matter what. And it's like, why? Like, I think Homelander is a fascinating character because what it does for me as a Superman fan is it makes me appreciate Superman even more, because what Homelander essentially is to show you what Superman would be if he was a bad person, how terrible he could be, how intimidating he could be, how destructive he could be if he were like that. But it makes you appreciate Superman even more because Superman does have this code and he does have this way that he goes about things because he is a genuinely good person, whereas Homelander is this horrible person. He's a terrible person. But it's a fascinating look at that perspective. But they wanted to bring the Trump element into it. I'm like, I wasn't even watching this thinking about Trump, and here you are, taking what I think is a fascinating take on what a Superman could be in a bad situation, an evil Superman, and it even took it to a different level than that James Gunn film that I did enjoy. I can't remember the name of it right now off the top of my head, but I thought that was good too because I've always been fascinated with a bad version of what Superman would be like, to make me appreciate even more the person that I already appreciate in Superman. So I'm watching The Boys thinking from that perspective. And then here the showrunner has to pop in and brings Trump into it. And I'm like, why are you bringing Trump into this? What the hell is wrong with these people? They are nuts. They're insane. So now here we are. I like the portrayal of Mon Mothma in this. I think the actress is doing a good job. I overall like Andor in terms of the world building and what you're doing, while I have my criticisms. And now here you are bringing real world politics into it for no reason at all, because that's what the leftists do. Either way, thank you guys for checking out this video. I appreciate it. Appreciate all of you. Hope you're having a great day. Hope everybody is staying safe in South Carolina, where Hurricane Ian has made landfall. I know it went through Florida. I know there's been a lot of destruction and damage, so shout out to all of you. If you want some Geeks and Gamers merch, you can go over to 221B Tactical, based in Florida, and we really appreciate it. We've been selling a lot of merch over there, so thank you guys. Have a great day, and we will talk to you later.